y'all, my name is Esther Wilson, and welcome back to a brand new season of Tell Me Something Good. I took a little break while I settled into my freshman year at Auburn University, but now I am back and I am more excited than ever. This podcast first started highlighting the lives and stories of Division I high school committed athletes, but now I've gotten to expand this podcast to interview some of the greatest athletes of all time. I want to know the person behind the amazing stats and awards that make up these amazing players. I am so excited for y'all to come along with me. This is Tell Me Something Good.
Oh, tell me something good. Yeah, tell me something good. Yeah.
Today, I'm here with one of the greatest to ever do it, Hall of Fame running back LaDainian Tomlinson, or as folks in Fort Worth call him, LT. Let's dive in. LT, lots of people are so excited to hear about you taking this new role coaching at Oak Ridge with Coach Jeremy Flowers and now coaching high school football. From your time at University High School in Waco to TCU to the Chargers and then to the Jets, what is one play that you could run again from your NFL career?
Wow, one play. They always say you repeat the plays or you think about the plays that you didn't make. You know what I mean? And I think about one particular play. It was actually when I was with the Jets, and we were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was in the playoffs. This was the AFC Championship game. Yeah. And we were down on the goal line. We had made a comeback and we was coming all the way back to take the lead. And it was 4th down and 1. And I got the ball and I couldn't get in. And normally I would dive over the top. Yeah. But the penetration, in my mind, as I replay that play, I still would have jumped. I should have jumped. And, so when I think about it, that's one play.
You'd go back and do it all over again?
Yeah, exactly.
You would do that. How do you think your university high school coach, Walter Brown, would respond if he now knew that you were coaching high school football?
He probably, coached me up, on things. Coach me up on things that I need to, coach the running backs, how to coach them, things I need to tell them. One thing about Coach Walter Brown is, he was such a great father figure. And at the perfect time that I needed, him as a coach. But I definitely think because he was always teaching and coaching, even outside of the game, he will probably just tell me the drills that I need to be running with my running backs.
I've heard you say over and over again that when you were little, you'd run plays in your front yard pretending to be Walter Payson. Now, how do you help these 14 to 18-year-old boys that you're now coaching tap into their NFL or Division I dreams?
I think getting them to trust the process. I always explain it in terms of, playing the game and trying to make it to college and get a scholarship. It's truly a journey. It's an everyday journey. You got to work on perfecting your craft every single day. And you know something about that. Anything that you love to do, you got to work on it every single day. And you can't really start to think too far in the future. Think about, if I score X amount of touchdowns, I'm going to get a scholarship. It doesn't work like that. You just trust the process. And, I want to tell our guys that if you want to play college football, then there's a place where you can play. We just got to find out where that is. But there's absolutely a place for everyone if they want to play college football. But you have to put in the work first. You have to trust the process.
I was in high school just last year, and you are raising 2 teenagers and are now coaching high schoolers. The pressures that teenagers face now with social media, mental health, and the pressures to go D1, how do you not only come alongside them as a coach, but also as a mentor?
Wow. I think there's 2 different hats that you try to play. The coaching hat is anything pertaining to getting better on the field or perfecting your skill level, working on, your athletic skill. That's where coaching comes in. But, the mentor side of it is more of how you handle yourself off the field. What do these colleges and coaches want to see? They want a person with great character. They want a person that's going to be, that's teachable, coachable, someone that cares about their community, that's doing community service. That's what these colleges are looking for. And so I just try to impart, that bit of wisdom on our young people about how important it is to be a student athlete.
Yeah, I love that. That's really good advice. And you've shared how it was so important to you, your faith and your family were to your athletic career. Can you share a moment on or off the field that your faith or family helped you make a really hard decision and led you to this decision that you made?
When I got released by the San Diego Chargers, it was at such an unopportune time for my family. My wife and I, we were pregnant with our first child. And she was right around, she was in her second trimester. So she was, far along in the process. She was pregnant, but she already had the doctors set up, in San Diego, weekly visits and all kinds of things. Not to mention that there were some things complication wise that she needed to maintain in order to have the child.
Yeah.
So when I got released, all that was thrown up in air. We're going to be in a new city. We got to meet new doctors. And it was overwhelming. My wife was just, she was overwhelmed with the decision. And as a husband, I was like, God, what do we do? What do I do? How can I comfort her? How can I make sure that she knows wherever we go, things are going to be, just fine. Fast forward with that story, I visit the Jets a couple of weeks later. And the first thing I see when I get to my hotel room with the Jets, they have this baby basket.
Wow, that says a lot.
I felt like this was God saying, I got you. I got you. You just keep the faith. I'm going to take care of your wife. And this is the place you need to be.
Yeah.
And that really led me to play for the New York Jets because of that one simple thing that they did. And it had nothing to do with football. It had everything to do about the care and just love that they had for, a player and their family.
You've already secured your legacy on the field as a Hall of Fame running back. But off the field, beyond the records and the highlights, how do you want people to remember LaDainian Tomlinson, LT, off the field?
As a humanitarian, I've considered myself a servant first. And I've always been like that. I grew up around a family of servants, that really served the community. And I've really taken pride in doing the same. I created a foundation many, many years ago where we've given out, scholarships and fed people on Thanksgiving time and just really entrenching ourselves in our community, because I believe that if you don't care about your own community, don't expect anyone else to. So above all else, I would love to be remembered as a humanitarian.
I love that. And I've seen a lot of your foundation and what you've been able to do to better your community. So thank you. This podcast is called Tell Me Something Good. My mission behind this podcast is to not only know the athlete and the Hall of Famer and the amazing name that you are, but also to know the person behind the player. So I end this podcast every time with the question, tell me something good that's going on in your life right now that's not athletic related. That can be with your family and your children or anything that you're looking forward to.
Oh, something I'm looking forward to. Our family reunion this year.
Yeah.
So my mom had moved away. She had been in Houston the last 2 years. And my mom has always been around, my brothers and sisters. She's always lived here with us. And those 2 years, we missed her dearly. And so now she's back in the area and we get to have family reunion again this summer. And I'm so looking forward to that.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that so much. A quote from you that I love so much from the end of your Hall of Fame speech is, a Hall of Famer never quits. The crime isn't being knocked down, but it's not getting back up. That's powerful. Thank you so much, LT, for sharing your heart and your story and for being here today with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.